What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. We're going to talk about Anthony Davis, the brow. As the world turns, the Anthony Davis saga. What's going on? It looks like talks are heating up. A lot of reports out there saying that the Lakers and the Celtics are both trying to acquire the all-star power forward in Anthony Davis. Yes. David Griffin is said to be looking to trade Anthony Davis before the June 20th NBA draft. So we'll see what happens, man. Today is the 12th of June, so he's got 8 days to try to make that happen. He's already got the number 1 overall pick, and everybody and their mama knows that he's going to take Zion Williams with that number 1 pick out of Duke. So he's, he'll be in his best interest to make a trade sooner rather than later, so he can get potential draft picks to in for interviews and workouts to see what he'll select with the pick he acquired from the Lakers or with the pick he acquires from the Celtics. You know, the Lakers got the number 4 pick, so they could potentially have the number 1 pick and the number 4 pick if they make a trade with the Lakers. I think the key guy in the trade, the two key guys for both teams, because I think what New Orleans wants is a one young player with good upside that has established himself in the NBA. You know, not on an all-star level, but established himself as a player that can produce and play at a good level, not a high level, but at a real good level. And the two key guys are Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers, and Jason Tatum from the Celtics. I think if David Griffin does a deal with the Lakers, Kyle Kuzma is going to be the centerpiece. I think they're going to throw in Lonzo Ball, but I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be the centerpiece of a deal with the Lakers. And I think Jason Tatum will be the centerpiece in a deal with the Celtics if David Griffin chooses to make the deal with the Celtics over the Lakers. So those are the two teams that are leading contenders to acquire Anthony Davis' services. And, if you're the Lakers, I think you got to be kind of worried, man, because the Lakers have been talking with the Pelicans since last All-Star break of last season, and they can't come up with a deal. Now, granted, the Pelicans have new management now. They don't have that general manager that was in. Lakers don't have Magic Johnson. Those are the two guys that were the focal point of trade talks between the two teams. They've hired Dave Griffin. He was formerly the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James. So there's a connection there between the two teams, LeBron with the Lakers and David Griffin, general manager of the Cavaliers. They won a championship in I think it was 2016 when they came back from 3-1 to beat the Golden State Warriors 4-3 and get LeBron James his 3rd chip. So they've got history there. Now, Boston has multiple draft picks, multiple first-round draft picks, so they might potentially come with a better package. I think they got Jason Tatum. He's played him and Kuzma. Their stats are probably similar. I think Kuzma probably might have a little bit better overall regular season stats, but Jason Tatum has played in the playoffs. He's played in a high-level situation as he was not last year, but the year before last season when the Celtics made it to the Eastern Conference Final, Game 7 against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jason Tatum was the focal point of the offense for the Celtics, and he played at a high level. A lot of people predicted after that series that Jason Tatum was going to be the next superstar player. But when you look at his play last year, he kind of struggled when they brought Kyrie Irving back from injury. He kind of struggled, and he didn't have the season that the Boston Celtics hoped that he would have. But he still has a high upside, a very good mid-range shooter. He's a decent three-point shooter, a guy very athletic, can get to the rim, good size, prototypical small forward. I think he's around 6'7", 6'8", and I think that's the guy that you can pair with Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson. You get you a point guard to go with them. You got Jrue Holiday, get you a decent point guard. To pair with those 3 guys, you have a good starting point to work with to build your team to be a playoff contender year in and year out, and possibly with a few more added pieces of championship caliber team. So we'll see what happens on that point, man. You look at the Celtics. I think the Celtics the Lakers. My bad. We talk about the Lakers. I think the Lakers probably can add. I think what the problem is, I think the Lakers probably be willing to give up Lonzo Ball, but I'm thinking Kuzma, they might be trying to hold on to him. But, I don't think that's a deal ender for the Lakers. I think they'll be willing to give him and Lonzo Ball up in that 4th draft pick. I think that'll be the deal. I think it'll be Uzma, Lonzo Ball, and the number 4 pick for Anthony Davis. I think that's a package that the Lakers be looking at. I think the package that the Celtics will be looking for will be Jason Tatum and multiple draft picks. Multiple draft picks, and it's gonna come down to does Dave Griffin want to make a deal with Anthony Davis as far as does he want to trade him out of the conference? Will he want to trade him to the West, where you're gonna have to deal with Anthony Davis for the next 6-7 years? You're battling with him, and trying to get through potentially him and the Lakers. When you finally build your team up to a point where they can contend, you're gonna have to deal with Anthony Davis or LeBron James down the line, or whoever else they add. Once LeBron James leave on, they'll still have Anthony Davis in his prime. Or will you want to trade him to the East, where you don't have to deal with him? You don't have to pay them twice a year, and worst case scenario, you match up with them in the finals if you were fortunate enough to get that far. And they're fortunate enough to get that for the Celtics. So we'll see what happens, man. But it's an interesting news out there right now. You got 2 teams vying for his services. If I'm the Lakers, I'm kind of worried because they pretty much been trying to get him since All-Star break of last season. Obviously, the Pelicans organization is for some reason, maybe they're not happy with the package, or maybe they're hesitant to trade him inside the conference. Maybe they prefer to trade him out east. And that's where the Celtics come into play. It's going to be interesting to see what Danny Ainge does, because everybody is saying, there's a lot of rumors out there. I ain't going to say everybody, but there's a lot of rumblings going on that Kyrie Irving is heading toward the Brooklyn Nets. He's leaving. He's going to be in Brooklyn next season. And if you trade Tatum and a bunch of draft picks, and you bring him in, and you've got Anthony Davis, but Kyrie goes to Brooklyn, Anthony Davis is essentially in the same situation he was in New Orleans. It's basically New Orleans East over there in Boston. You got a bunch of solid players. You might make a case that New Orleans roster might be even better, because at least New Orleans have a player of a Jrue Holiday level. If you trade Tatum and bring in Anthony Davis, you don't even have a second tier player, a number 2 option on the caliber of a Jrue Holiday in Boston. You don't even have nobody on that level of a Jrue Holiday in Boston. You have Jaylen Brown. He's up and coming. He's a solid player. You still have Haywood and Rozier. They have a good system there, and they've had a very good 2-year run there. Going to the Eastern Conference Final 2 seasons ago, and then last season going to winning the first round matchup with Indiana. And granted, Indiana didn't have their best player, Oladipo was out, but they was able to get by them. I think they swept Indiana, and they made it to the second round. So you've had 2 what you can call successful seasons back to back, even though it didn't work out last year. As far as Boston was a title contender. A lot of people were predicting them before the season to win the NBA championship. They were the favorites along with Golden State. So we'll see, man. Danny Ainge he's trying to make things happen. I think his thought process is, I want to have a superstar in Boston. He knows you got to have a superstar. And he said, if I'm going to lose Kyrie, I want to at least be able to bring in Anthony Davis, even though Anthony Davis will just be here for 1 year. His agent, Rich Paul, has said that, yeah, you can trade for him. It's just going to be 1 year and he's going to leave. But I think Danny Ainge has faith in his organization and their culture, that they'll be able to convince Anthony Davis that to stay there beyond next season. And I think they probably be willing to roll the dice and trade Jason Tatum. And it just depends on how many draft picks New Orleans asked for. Boston might be willing to get rid of Tatum and maybe one of their draft picks for him. And I don't think they're gonna want to give up multiple draft picks. Maybe 1 first rounder and Jason Tatum. I think that's probably all that Danny Ainge will be willing to give up. Because they know that New Orleans has got to trade him, try to get something for him. Because after next season, he can walk and they get nothing for him. Same thing with the Lakers. The Lakers can both teams to a certain extent can kind of play hardball. And Lakers could do the same thing and say, hey, we're not gonna give you Uzma and Lonzo Ball. We'll give you one of those 2 and our 4th round pick. And for Anthony Davis, take it or leave it. You got to get something for him. You got to give something for him, and they can play hardball. But with the Celtics coming in, they might have to come out there just giving them Lonzo Ball. With the Celtics come with a package of Jason Tatum and a 1st round pick, that might. Well, it's gonna be kind of close, because the thing about the Lakers got over the Celtics, the Lakers got a very high pick, number 4 pick. Even though, you know, this is a 3-player draft, you got Zion Williams is a number 1 pick, a franchise level player. He's the number 1 pick. You got Morant out of Murray State. You know, he's going to be projected to be one of the top point guards in the league. You got RJ Barrett, a guy that can score. I don't think he's going to be a great high percentage scorer, but he's going to be a scorer nonetheless. He's going to be a guy that you can come in the league and he's going to average 20 points, you know, for his career. He's a guy that can score. He can put the ball in the hole. So you got that guy, and then it's got like a fall off after those 3. So it's going to be interesting. That number 4 pick is not like number 4 picks in maybe in other drafts when you got like 10 players that's projected to be all-star level players, and the number 4 pick, you know, you're getting a surefire all-star level player. That's not the case, man. Number 4 pick is like a drop-off. You got Jared Culver from Texas Tech. You got Cam Reddish from Duke. You got the point guard from Vanderbilt. Is the number 2 point guard behind Morant from Murray State. You know, they're looking at a lot of guys, but none of those 3 guys are surefire all-star level talents. So, you know, they're not surefire all-star level talent. So we'll see what happens. But nevertheless, man, the Lakers are offering the high pick, the number 4 pick. So they probably feel that they don't have to come off of both Uzma and Ball. But I think Dave Griffin is going to probably assist on Uzma, the being in the deal. I think the Lakers probably have no problem getting rid of Ball, but the Uzma, that might be the deal breaker as far as do the Lakers want to give up him and Ball and the number 4 pick. So we'll see what happens, man. But like I said, going back to the Celtics, man, they're in a precarious situation because more than likely they're gonna lose Kyrie Irving. They're gonna swing for the fences, try to bring in Anthony Davis, and hopefully Kyrie Irving sees, okay, you got Anthony Davis, you traded Tatum, you know, maybe I come back there and sign back with the Celtics. But I think even if Kyrie does sign with the Celtics, knowing that Anthony Davis is only going to be there for 1 year, I don't think Kyrie is going to be committed to be there long term because he'll be in the same boat he was. You know, he'll be in not the same boat, but he'll be in a tough situation if he signed a long-term contract and Anthony Davis leaves after next season and he's stuck there without Tatum, you know, and a bunch of role players on the team and with no chance to get another ring added to the ring that he won with LeBron James in 2016. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. But right now, it's the talks are heating up. We'll see what happens. If I had to make a prediction, I think if everything is even as far as if both deals are kind of close as far as talent level and draft picks, I think the Pelicans prefer to trade him to the East. I think they'd rather deal with Celtics because if they was gonna trade him to the Lakers, you think they would have probably done this by now. They've been talking with the Lakers since last year, last season All-Star break, and they haven't come to a deal for whatever reason, you know. So I think, you know, the Celtics have come in, and I think the Lakers are only way the Lakers, I think, end up making a deal, they're gonna have to enhance their package. They're gonna have to throw in Kuzma, they got to throw in Ball, they might have to throw in Josh Hart, plus their 4th round draft pick to you know, to make the deal so much better than what the Celtics offer, where New Orleans will be willing to trade him, you know, inside the conference, of the Western Conference, and, you know, have to deal with him 4 or 5 times a season and possibly in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens, man. But if I had to make a educated guess, man, I think if the packages, but both teams are similar or somewhat equal, I think they'll trade them out east to the Celtics. But if the Lakers enhance their package and make their package with multiple players and in that 4th round, in that 4th pick, and they come and they willing to give up all 3 of their young core players, and Uzma, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart. You know, Ingram would be probably included in the deal, but probably would be a player that the Pelicans would want, but he got a blood clot in his leg, so I think that's gonna scare off the Pelicans. You know, they're gonna scare the Pelicans out. They might not want to deal with that because that blood clot. That's kind of a tricky situation, man. Anytime you talking about blood clots, you know, you got blood's going through your arteries in your leg, possibly getting stopped and getting clogged. You know, you playing with a dangerous situation. A lot of teams and a lot of team doctors are not comfortable you know, signing off on a deal if you're bringing in a player with that condition. So we'll see what happens, man. This is just giving you a little NBA talk, man, and you know, let you know right now that like I said, talks are heating up between the Lakers and the Celtics and Anthony Davis, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, if both deals between Boston and LA are equal as far as talent and draft picks, I see Anthony Davis ending up with the Celtics. I see a strong desire by the Pelicans and their front office to trade Anthony Davis to the East rather than trade him to a rival team in the West that they don't have to deal with 4 or 5 times a season and possibly in the playoffs. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.